Everybody, and welcome to the testing notebook, Ted's testing notebook, for day one of the second and final pre-season test here in Bahrain at the wonderful, glorious, sweltering 32 degrees, Bahrain International Circuit, and the familiar climbs of the paddock. And it's good to be back ahead of the first race of the season, the Bahrain Grand Prix, in the middle of March in about a week's time. So lots going on so far. We're going to round up the day here. If you've been watching us live testing all day, then thank you. If you haven't, what have you been doing? You have to get up early, 6 o'clock we're on. We've got live testing all throughout the day. Tape it, record it on your Sky Plus. Sorry, tape it. I'm talking about VHS here. Got a VHS, put a tape across it. Put it on your Sky Plus and scroll through, because there's lots of good stuff. If you're working, understandably, you can't do it. But here we are, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, and we're on all day. So if you weren't able to join us for the whole day, we're going to round up what's happened on the day. And we've had a big surprise here, which we'll get onto in a second. It's the lunch break now, so I'll tell you that Charles Leclerc is fastest so far, followed by Alex Albon in the Williams, then Sebastian Vettel, Aston Martin, Sergio Perez, Red Bull Racing, Lewis Hamilton fifth for Mercedes in their new car so far. We'll get onto that in a minute. Esteban Ocon sixth, Guan Yu Zhou Guan Yu seventh, Lando Norris with some brake issues eighth, and Pierre Gasly ninth. And if you're wondering why that's no 10th, it's because Haas had some issues getting their freight here on time, so their test driver Pietro Fittipaldi will hopefully be out in the afternoon session. And they have a new driver. Nikita Mazepin is out. Hashtag Mazepin out. His sponsor, Uralkali, is out. The Russian Grand Prix is no more. We've already been to Sochi for the last time, perhaps ever. We might not ever get to St. Petersburg. And in his place, it's K-Mag. Yeah, K-Mag's back. So hopefully we'll talk to K-Mag a bit later. It's a bit of a shot from the blue. Everyone's just delighted. K-Mag's back. So yeah, the team principals are going to their press conference. We have a driver who's not well. Daniel Ricciardo is feeling a bit poorly, so Lando Norris is in from him. And we have a very nice crash helmet from Sebastian Vettel making a very, very just a heartwarming statement about, we're all here doing motor racing, knowing it's not very important, but there are terrible things going on in the world, and Sebastian Vettel's No War tribute to Ukraine helmet is worth checking out on social media. Look at JMD, Jens Munzer Designs, for some details of Sebastian Vettel's very nice No War helmet with the lyrics to Imagine on the top of his helmet. It's very nice touch there from Seb. But the issue of the day, the talking point of the day, is that under these new regulations, we were all waiting for a sort of double diffuser moment, weren't we? We were all waiting for a moment of, is there going to be something that nobody else has thought of and has set the paddock abuzz? And it looks like we've got our thing. And the thing is, technical director of Mercedes AMG Petronas Formula One team, Mike Elliott. Hi. Your side pods. Ooh. They're slim, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very slim.
Sorry, they're slim. That's about the level of technical in-depth that you're going to... Yeah, tell us about them.
Oh, I guess what do you want to know? I guess it's just part of the aerodynamic development of the car. I guess in terms of why have we done that, it's probably the bit you really want to know, and it's about controlling the front tyre wake, and all the teams will be trying to do that for varying degrees, and there are different ways of doing that. There's a way you can do it with the wider side pod, and there's a way you can do it with a narrow one, and we've obviously taken that route. But I think it's obviously visually very different, but it's just a small difference in what we're trying to do aerodynamically.
Okay, so why is a good place to start? So you're doing it to what? To present as little effect of that front tyre that you're talking about, the front tyre outwash?
The front tyre's always affected the car performance. It's probably always been one of the biggest things aerodynamically to work with.
Yeah.
In the past, we've had barge boards and things like that, which have been taken away from us. We've had through axle flow, so you're taking the brake duct flow and pushing it through the axle, which we can't do this year. So now you've got to find other ways to achieve the same thing. And for us, we've done that using the narrow side pod layout to stop the sort of tyre wake sticking to the side pod and being pulled in. Whereas other teams will have gone through a route of pushing the side pod out as far as they can to try and push it out that way. There's just two ways of doing the same thing.
All right. It's so tight that a lot of people are thinking, well, how are you cooling the car? So
we are cooling the car, otherwise we wouldn't be able to run.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's just the way you lay out the car, and I think further down in time, people will see pictures from underneath and they'll work it out.
Okay.
But I'm not going to tell you now.
Okay, no, that's fine. There are some rumours around the paddock that you're using a revolutionary cooling system on the car. Is that anywhere near the truth?
Does that involve air and water?
Probably.
Which is what we're doing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is it revolutionary? Have you used it before?
No, I think the broad layout of how we're trying to cool the car is the same as you always do. I mean, you always year to year look for efficiencies that you can find in the systems. We'll have done that again this year, and we found some small steps forward, but that's not the reason we can do the side pods the way we're doing them.
Okay, and you're not doing them also because it effectively speeds up the air on top of the car and then working with the diffuser and then making that ground effect work all the better?
No, not really, because sort of the pressure effect you get from air is dependent on speed. So normally what you want to do is to slow the flow down over the top of the floor. That way you get an increase in pressure on the top side of the floor and you get downforce from it. Where you might want to use clean flow is, as you say, is to sort of power the end of the diffuser or to put clean flow underneath the floor, but that's not what we're trying to achieve.
Okay. Now, can I ask you one sort of key question? And I've got a photo to illustrate it. Is it all right if I show a photo of your side pods in Barcelona? I'll just turn the brightness up on this. Airplane mode on, always a good idea. So the side pods you had in Barcelona were the sort of square ones that everybody else has had. You see what I mean?
Yep.
That everyone else has had. And talking to some other teams up and down the paddock, they've been saying, well, there is a regulation that says that you do have to have something that's fairly well defined, isn't it? And your one now sort of doesn't have that area. Is that, what are they talking about?
So, to be honest, I don't know exactly what they're talking about.
Right. Do you have to have a side pod entry that shape?
All of the teams had to do a CAD inspection with the FIA, including us. So we've talked to the FIA through how we've legalised what we've done, and I believe they're happy with it. So in terms of how we get to our shape, that's obviously not something to talk about at the moment.
Okay, yes, because that's what we all believe, is that there is this shape you have to have. But your interpretation, if I may say, imagine it, correct me if I'm way off here, is that you've got that shape, it's just not necessarily where the car had it in Barcelona.
So we've got a shape that's legal, that passes the regulations, and that we believe that the FIA are happy with, and they've seen the CAD. So as how you turn that into the different shapes, you know, I think everybody will have to look and try and work out for themselves what we've done and go from there.
I love it. This is why I say it as the double diffuser. And when I said double diffuser, you were like, it's nothing like a double diffuser. But it's a way of saying, look, we've done this. It's just you didn't say where the shape had to be, and we've put it somewhere else, presumably.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always our job to try and work out how we make the most of the regulations. I think, as always happens, and you know this, people pick up on the visual big differences, and the visual big differences are not always where the lap time's at. Yeah. You know, in this case, this is a step we found a little while ago, and we decided to add it to our car. Obviously, when you do something that's very different, you go and talk to the FIA first, and we've done that. Yep.
Okay. Brilliant. Quick final one. The porpoising, the bouncing, seems to have been cured for a lot of cars. I see you've put a little stay in there to sort of stiffen everything up.
Yeah, I think all of the teams found a level of porpoising in Barcelona. I suspect all the teams are at different points in their learning process with how you deal with that and how you manage that. Yeah, and you're right, we've added a stay. I think most of the teams have done something. I guess one of the constraints of the very narrow bodywork is that that's harder to get to than it is for other teams, so the stay is more visible.
Well, listen, you've got to go. Mike Elliott, Technical Director of Mercedes-Benz, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You've got to go to your lunch, and we are going to go, please, after you. And maybe it's not the double diffuser that everyone's talking about, but it's certainly caught the attention. I hope you've been able to learn something from the man who thought about it. And do you know what, for me, just a final thought on this, you know, when Mercedes were kind of saying, well, you know, we've written off last year and not developed the car, whereas Red Bull were developing it, helped Max Verstappen to the championship, even though Lewis Hamilton might have won the championship, had you know what not happened in Abu Dhabi. They were, because we're concentrating on next year, this is the thing that they were concentrating on. So I'm pleased, a lot of us are pleased, hopefully you're pleased, that the car you saw at Barcelona, you maybe thought, Rob, was that it? Was that what we're waiting for? No, that was not what we were waiting for. This is what we're waiting for. And somebody else who's had to wait for a long time to get back into Formula One is Kevin Magnussen. And here he is. He's here. Come in. K-Mag! Sorry, I'm having a bit of a boy moment. It's just, I mean, have you found anybody who has not been delighted to see you on your return to this bubble of Formula One? Because obviously we've followed what you've been doing. You almost won a few races with Ganassi. The IndyCar's been an interesting adventure for you, I think. But, you know, we live in an F1 bubble, and kind of it's rare that someone goes away, competes and stuff, and then comes back.
Yeah, I mean, it's super surprising. I had no idea this was gonna happen, you know, and I wasn't even hoping for it because it was so. I kind of just, you know, closed the book. I thought it was over. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna come back.
Were you annoyed about that? Did you think I don't want to? I don't. Now that you know, maybe that's only a question that can be answered in retrospect. Now that you know, do you think, you know what? I wasn't ready to close that book.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, I felt like I kind of had it. It's not like I was thinking about it every day. How much I wasn't sad about it.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
And I had a fantastic time. You know, I had a kid, and you know, moved back to Denmark. A lot of good things happened. But when Günther called, I could just feel all these emotions that I had, you know, all my life about Formula One come back. And I was like, yeah, for sure, I have to do it again. Let's go.
Still only what? 31, 29.
29.
29. Why did I say 31? Yes, well, Mazel Tov on the baby. Name?
Laura.
Laura.
Yeah.
Fantastic. She doing well?
She is. She's a year old now and walking around, and
great.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been really fun.
Good, good. Any thoughts on a second?
I do, but I think my wife.
Oh well, wait a bit. She'll come around to your way of thinking. It's always nice to have siblings. Right. So you said how it sort of came about. Well, I mean, how did it come about? Good. The old man there knew he had a sitch and needed a guy who was going to get quickly in the car, or a guy that they knew was fast, or a guy that could teach Mick, or a guy that was all of those things and someone nice to have around as well, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you know, certainly Günther knows me, you know, and he knows that I know the team well, and yeah, I mean, there's no real doubts about, you know, me. He knows what I am, and yeah, I'm glad that he called me. There's a lot of drivers that want to go to Formula One, and he could have taken, you know, many other drivers than me, and he asked me first, so very happy, and you know, for sure didn't really have any doubts. You know, I could feel it. I wanted to do it.
What did you miss? I mean, IndyCar must have been, I must imagine was a really interesting difference and challenge.
Yes, it was. What I missed about Formula One is the intensity. It's so intense, you know, and so focused. Everything is like, there's no compromises. You're just going, you know, you can do so many things, and it's such a broad window that you're working with. You know, you're not limited in many ways. Everything can be done. Everything can be improved. Yeah, I just feel like it's so intense and so interesting. Of course, driving the cars is awesome. I haven't driven this generation of cars. Looking forward to that, but Formula One cars are always just fantastic to drive.
And also, did it have an impact on your decision, knowing that Haas have put so much work into this car that it's not going to be in the situation where it was last year at the bottom of the grid? It's just not going to be there, and you're going to be in that midfield where you used to with Roman back in the day.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, of course, and a big part of my decision was also that we have this new generation of cars coming in now, and you know, I think it would have been more difficult if it hadn't changed, and we were continuing with the cars we had last year, because then the hope that Haas would have improved, you know, that would have been very difficult. Yeah. Like this, you know, with a new car that they've been working on for, you know, years now. I think there's some hope. I think, and I can feel it when I'm walking through the garage and talking to people in the team, that they're smiling a lot. They're very positive.
Okay, well, it does look like it's a better car. There's some issues in Barcelona, but I think once you get going here, I think you're going to discover that you'll be back in there fighting, and it's something we're looking forward to, and watching you, and just so glad you're back.
Thanks, man.
Good. All right, I'm going to stop being all silly about this, so you go away and do your stuff. Let's hear from the world champion, shall we? And we've been joined by the world champion, Max Verstappen. It's not sounding old yet, is it?
No, not yet.
Good,
Maybe
right.
in 10 years.
Okay. All right. What's been your area of interest when you got to Bahrain? Have you had a look at the new Mercedes? This is what they've now got to play with. Did you think what they had in Bahrain, in Barcelona, was like, that's not going to be what they turn up with, and now they turn up with a proper
I think
car?
the top teams in general. You have a launch car, and then you have a race car, a race one car. So I always expected them to, of course, come with something, and that's what they did. But I mean, it's their philosophy, and I wasn't shocked or anything, because at the end of the day, you cannot control what they do. That's what I've said many times also in the past, and we just have to focus on our car and try to make that car progress, and which I think is going quite well.
Well, tell me about that. Is it going well? You were setting good times on the harder tyres in Barcelona, so the pace is obviously there. Does it feel good? Does it feel fast? Do you think you're there at the top?
I mean, for what I did in Barcelona, it was more about just putting laps on the board, trying to understand the car, the engine, the reliability, trying to do a bit of setup work, to try and get a bit of a general understanding of the car, which we did. We understood quite well. But here in Bahrain, it's very different again. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
We will. Okay, Max, you've got to go. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We'll take that back off you. And after the break, we will round up everybody's day one here in Bahrain. Hiya, welcome back to The Notebook for the first day of the final test here in Bahrain. Lots going on, including, I've just spied, new FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem going in to see Toto Wolff. You'll have to take my word for it, and maybe the two burly security guards on right, not centre and left, who are now going in with new FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem in to see Toto Wolff. By the way, if you follow the FIA on the Twitter, did you get a direct message from them saying, "Hi, thanks for following us on Twitter. Please follow our president, Ben_Sulayem." Because I did. Seemed a bit odd at the time. Anyway, right, let's go through I think I follow him already. Of course, why wouldn't I? President of the FIA. Let's go through everybody, shall we? And Mercedes have had an okay day. I mean, listen, I can get as excited as I want with Mike Elliott earlier about the side pods. As a team member said to me earlier, it's only great if it works. And that is the kind of point, isn't it? Obviously, 62 laps for Lewis Hamilton, P11, so not massively quick. Can't say the same, well, you could say the same for George Russell, P9 and 60 laps. So, yeah, listen, you're seeing there is Nicholas Tombassis, who Mike Elliott was talking about earlier, who he sent all the CAD drawings to. And whether it's the shape of the side pods, where they put the air intake, whether they've put the wing mirror on top of the crash structure, where the crash structure is, there are questions about this side pod layout. Maybe it's not the double diffuser, but it's certainly a double diffuser in certain terms of what other teams are interested in and what they can see as a proper differentiator before them. It's certainly an aggressive solution. And does it work? Know. We're going to find out, but it looks the business, doesn't it? Right, there is Sergio Perez. Red Bull had a good day today, I think you could say. It's only P10, it's not reflected on times, but hey, they haven't really done that at any point in testing. And Sergio Perez was 138 laps. He is the king of lappery today, and he does not look in any worse shape for it. He's as fit as you like, as he always is, and it was steamingly hot in the middle of the day. So they tried a sort of qualifying time, a little bit of qualifying stuff later on, but he's just saying to Formula One here that they were doing some aero programs and tyre work and stuff like that. So usual kind of testing stuff, but that's a long day to do. So he's the only one, I think it's Pierre Gasly, Checo Perez, Alex Albon, were the only ones who were all day in the car today. And that's something they might have to do. Lando Norris, of course, as well, because Daniel Ricciardo's not well. Get well, so Daniel. If Daniel doesn't get well soon, then Lando's going to have to do tomorrow as well. Poor Lando. There we go. Is that the FIA president there? No, it's not. I can't see. Anyway, so lots of, as I say, lots of interesting discussions happening here and there. Talking about people from the FIA, there is Peter Bayer, who is now kind of the boss, I guess you'd say, of single-seaters, kind of taken Michael Massey's, I can't believe we mentioned Michael Massey, the embargo, Pete, the embargo. It's kind of taken over from him in terms of, he's the top man now looking after Formula One in terms of the FIA to sort themselves out post Abu Dhabi. And that is an interesting discussion, isn't it? So Christian putting his view, and if you're a body language expert, is that a pointed knee, Pete? Is that a defensive crossed arms from the guy from the FIA? I'm not saying anything, I'm just describing what's going on with the language. Christian thrusting forward with his hands in a kind of... Sorry, I was stop reading the body language there. Come on, heaven's sake, Pete, what are you making me do? Right, yes, as I said, interesting discussions going on. Right, come on, let's have a look at Lando, shall we? And see how fit he looks after the day, because decent day for McLaren, and he did almost 100 laps, I think it was. Let's just have a quick check on my data here. Didn't end up with a particularly rapid time. He was where did he end up? P6. That's right, Norris on a 35.3. They had some issues here and there. It wasn't as many laps as they wanted. There were some brake issues along the way, and Daniel Ricciardo apparently just sort of got up in the morning and said, I can't come in, I'm just not feeling well. I think it's more of a sort of tummy thing, and rather than, you know, any kind of issue that will you know, anything worse than that. So hopefully with a good dose of the salts or whatever they give for that kind of thing these days, he will be better tomorrow. But yeah, not a straightforward day for Lando, but a few stoppages. Here he comes. He's on his way. Hello. Oh, I don't know. I'm not meant to interview you.
Did you get really excited when you saw the Mercedes today?
How do you know? You know me so well.
I did.
Yes, I did.
I
got more excited.
I can't repeat now on TV.
What?
Something about
those pit lane dweebs are going to, when they see that. If I'm honest,
I specified Ted.
Oh, did you?
And him being super excited.
Super excited.
To see a side pod like that.
If I'm honest, I got more excited seeing K-Mag back. I went all fanboy-y. I went proper fanboy down there with K-Mag.
I think a lot of people are feeling that way.
Yeah.
A lot of people are feeling that way. So we'll see. Nice to have, you know, a veteran back in the sport.
He's just a good lad.
I don't know.
And he's a racer. He's a racer as well.
True.
Although he's quite naughty sometimes, apparently.
But there's obviously a cost cap, you know, with crash damage and stuff. So we'll see how much that impacts us.
He's got a little girl now, Laura. You know, my grandma's name. You know, I got all. It was pathetic. I mean, quite frankly, my performance down there when I was interviewing him. It was pathetic. Yes.
You were really that fanboy?
I was really that fanboy. Yeah. I'm ashamed if I'm honest.
Yeah. You don't fanboy like over me that much?
I keep a lid on it, Lando. Professional. Right, where are we now? Aston Martin, yes. So Sebastian Vettel, Lance Stroll, it's okay, P4 and 50 laps for them, but the cars look sluggish, really, it looks sluggish, and there's not really much seemingly sort of speed that they can get out of that Aston Martin somewhere, but it doesn't look great on track. It has to be said, Alpine is just over here. Is that Esteban Ocon? He had a decent day, actually. Is it Esteban Ocon? No, it's not. Certainly the shape of Esteban Ocon. It is Esteban Ocon. Hey! He had the shape of Esteban Ocon, a new fragrance by Chanel. A few issues for him, but actually Ocon got some good laps in, chose to run the hard tyre pretty much all day, the C2, and then Fernando Alonso didn't get as many laps as he wanted. Bonsoir! And Fernando has got a few issues, but Esteban got a good load of running in the morning. So again, like Aston Martin, it's not looking very quick, but maybe they can find some pace from somewhere, because they believe in the fundamentals. And I think, you know, while they're looking at other people who've got problems with, who have we got? Lance at the back of Aston Martin? Well, they've got problems with, you know, porpoising or being overweight or underweight. And I don't think Alpine have that. I think they built a sort of solid car, just doesn't seem to be very fast at the moment. So maybe they can find some speed from somewhere. Right, where are we? Aston Martin, we've done Alpine, done McLaren, done Red Bull, Ferrari. Charles Leclerc P3, 64 laps, and Carlos Sainz P2, 52 laps. Charles Leclerc led the times early on and did some setup work once again. The car was fast, but is the speed real? That's the big question. I'll try and have a look at that tomorrow when we focus on Ferrari a bit. And Sainz took over from Charles Leclerc in the afternoon, and they do some race runs tomorrow. Pierre Gasly, number one. You can stay with the scene around here, and haven't Aston Martin done well to find Jess Hawkins a bucket hat. Apparently bucket hats, so Naomi Schiff tells me, and my daughter, middle one, bucket hats are the thing for the kids Did you know this, Pete? Yeah, they are. And they've manufactured, and I wonder if this is merch to be had. The bucket hats are going to be, I haven't got time for this, Jess. I haven't got time. But are the bucket hats, is this official merch now? Can they buy it? Because this is a seller for my daughter, I tell you.
I think in the future it might be, yes.
It's got like the Aston...
Oh my God, you've not even seen the other side yet.
Come on, show us. Is it reversible?
It's reversible.
It's reversible! Come on, reverse it.
I can't, that means I've got to take it off.
Oh yeah, no, we don't want to do that. Okay. Bit disappointed that they're not merching up the bobble.
Well, there is
so
a bubble.
far.
There is an Aston Martin.
I know, but it's not a Jess supplied, proper endorsed bobble.
Well, I definitely endorse it.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Oh, it is a Jess supplied bobble.
No,
okay,
no.
Good.
I mean, it's not a Jess Wilkins hat, but I approve massively.
Well, if it's you and a bobble, then it's a bobble. Good, right, thanks very much. Sorry, I've already gone over. Oh no, I've gone over. Yeah, I know I've gone over. I've got to do Alfa Romeo Sauber and everything. So Gasly was in all day. P1, 103 laps. Great stuff for him. Guan Yu Zhou and Valtteri Bottas shared the day for Alfa Romeo Sauber. It was okay in a way. Valtteri Bottas tried to do a race simulation at the end, made some progress, but Zhou ended up 14th, Bottas 7th, so not so bad from 77. Valtteri Bottas, he ended up P7. Alex Albon P5 in the Williams, had to stop their day early due to an issue on the it's the left rear wheel hub, but otherwise some decent lapping from Alex in the Williams. And Haas, poor Pietro Fittipaldi, they had a good recovery after their freight was held up, not their fault, and meant that they could only get the car out halfway through the day. So good recovery from there, 50 or 60 odd laps for Pietro Fittipaldi. That seems to be it for him, because it's Kevin Magnussen and Mick Schumacher for the last 2 days. And they wanted to ask whether they could either run late, like now, for another couple of hours to make up the time they lost in the morning, which is not their fault, or run on Sunday or the day after the test, but somebody else has got a filming day then. But both those ideas were kiboshed by various points of other teams not allowing them to do them, or them not wanting to put their mechanics through the late nights that it would entail on the night shifts and everything. So it just seems that fate is not to be on Haas's side as far as Lappery is concerned. At this test, they missed the first half of the first day today, and they're not going to get it back, it seems, which is hard luck on them. But hopefully Mick Schumacher and Kevin Magnussen will be able to recover from there. Right, join us for the Notebook tomorrow, where there will be much less unprofessional fanboying over racing drivers, I promise. Bye-bye.